One of the things that I wish I would have done better is not worry about fitting in the room. This is a huge thing because you want to be liked. The guys are older. You want to fit in. You want to be one of the guys. Like that's 100%. But what I realize is that, especially now, well, and I would say you can look at this on your U16, U14, whatever. Most guys aren't going anywhere. Like as far as making it to whatever level, most guys aren't. So I went into that first dressing room in the OHL. I was looking at guys that were drafted first, second, third round picks, fourth round picks. We had a lot of draft picks, and some of them were dialed in, and most of them weren't. And yeah, yeah, and the couple first rounders, like it's like holy shit, eighth or ninth overall was the first one. Well, that's an early pick. It's like, and he was our captain. And it's like we all want to be like him. Like I wanted him to like me, but like he drank every night. He was doing everything I didn't know hockey players did at the time. I was 16. You know what? The biggest thing for me, and I would suggest to any kid, is don't worry about that guy. He's not going to be your best friend, most likely. He's 5 years older or 4 years old. He's probably not going to be your best friend anyway. He doesn't really want to hang out with a little kid. What he would care about is that you show up and play, and that's the most important thing. But it doesn't even matter because of all those guys, I think one of those older guys played in the NHL, Jeff Brown.
Yeah, I think the only caveat I'll throw on that is that doesn't mean to purposely be a dork in the room. Okay, so you need to know, again, you have to know how to read the situation. So when guys are doing things that obviously are not optimal, even if they're the leadership of the team, even if they're the cool guys, even if they're whatever, that's the stuff you want to try to avoid. And it's going to be pressure, man. Like it's going to be a lot of pressure to try to get you into that. You have to do the best you can to resist that. That doesn't mean be combative towards those guys. And that's important because if you don't need to fit in with those guys, but
you need your buddies.
But you need your buddies,
and you need to be a good team.
You need
guy.
to be part of the team.
Yes, 100%.
Right? Because anyone who's the guy that never ever has a drink ever, or never hangs out with the boys, or never is like so dialed in that it's annoying, then you start to be not part of the team.
You're not part of the team. And guys may not even back you up in certain situations, exactly. And you don't have friends for the rest of your life. And part of the experience is having buds.
Yeah, and part of it is like you can be super dialed in and stay private about some of it. That's the other thing, right? Like there's the kid, because there's a lot of guys that'll be like, man, you guys are such idiots because all you do is drink all the time. And though your point is correct, they don't need to be drinking all the time. You saying you guys are a bunch of idiots, I don't like you because you drink all the time, when they're your teammates, now that's causing a conflict in the team. So you can think that, but you still have to know how to play the game with the teammates here, right? So don't outcast yourself from the team either. So you don't 100%. Have to fit, but don't outcast yourself.
Yeah, but what I'm saying mostly is like, okay, like it goes back to what we were saying before. Is be uncompromising in your time,
right,
and your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is like things like when you get to the rink, it's game time or it's practice time. Yes, you horse around, you do your things, but do you do that at the expense of not getting a dynamic warm up in?
Exactly.
No. Do you do that at the expense of maybe you could have been on the ice 15 minutes to shoot or do some edge work? No, that's dumb. Do you do it at the expense of hurrying up to go to the restaurant and have a bite to eat at the expense of getting your workout in and doing all those things? That's what I'm talking about, is to be uncompromising.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then having the brains to say, okay, there is a time and a place where I'm with the boys and doing the stuff with the team stuff, which I exactly what you said. If the guy that never went out with the boys, like I don't even want you on my team, man. Like we got to be able to talk and horse around or have some serious conversations. Whatever it is that you are. So like, I remember one guy on our team, a couple guys that stick out. Robbie Graham got traded to us, and he was my winger, big 6. He drafted to the Rangers, big 6'4" nerd. I loved him, nerd. Like that's all the time. But if it was a little bit cold out, his glasses, his toque, his mitts, and we used to laugh a little bit. It's like, "Wait, man, settle down." It's like, but he was intelligent. He goes, "Well, if I don't dress warm, I'm gonna be freaking cold, you idiots."
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
He'd have his homework. He'd do like you, do his homework, and it was like some guys would be like, "Okay, Robbie," like, and I respect it. It's like I wish I could do that actually, and it was like I wish there was actually more guys like you, so that when I pull out my book that I actually want to learn something from, no one's like carving me about it, right? Alistair Still was another one, real tough kid too, and a school guy, right? And he always used to wear the Table of Elements shirt.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
but it's really bright guy,
Yeah.
and it's like but he was a little bit different, but it's like he was himself though, right? He could just be himself, and I like guys like that that can just fit in and be themselves. It's like not trying to fit into the team, like so that you're not you. You know, be yourself, man. There's no better person than yourself. Like I always tell this when kids when they ask me about stuff, I go, you know, who the coolest guy in the room is it's you. Just be the coolest guy. Just be yourself. No, not you. It's not you. It's the guy who can just be himself, and that's how you can just fit in. You
Yeah,
know.
and do that. And like I mentioned this last week too, is don't make it hard for people to want to be your teammate, right? Because that will negatively impact you. So at the same time as you want to be yourself and all that, and you want to get along with everybody and all that, but that doesn't mean you have to compromise your goals or what you're trying to be as an individual. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So that's that. So then the next thing, as I would say, is find the most dedicated guys and spend time with them. We kind of talked about that earlier. So hopefully you can find a guy on the team, whether you're a 16-year-old guy or a 20-year-old guy on a junior team, that wants to get there early. Like hurry up from school and let's get on the ice early. Cool. That's who I want. Stay late. Let's get our workout in. Let's make sure we get stronger. That's what you want. Um, so if you're in youth hockey, well, how do you do that? You don't have a car, you can't do things. We'll try to find the guys that you can see. For me, and I think you would agree with this, is like for me, when especially dialed into sports, and even today, I love it when I have a day where it's like we worked out and then we went and played catch and then we did physical things because that's what I like to do. And if you can keep someone that has a um, um, high goals or like what am I trying to say? High, uh,
I don't know.
no, it's a sentence. What?
I don't know what you're trying to
Someone
say.
that has
Like
high
aspirations or
high
ambition.
aspirations and high ambition, and trying to do the same thing, then you're in a great place. You're not going to get yourself in shit, and if you do, you're with the right person that'll back you up, and they'll know when to stop. Right. The next thing that is really important to me is and also realize that most guys are insecure. So when you're sitting in your dressing room, uh, especially at the junior level, when you have the older guys and stuff like that, we used to sit there and Hamilton Steelhawks are coming in town, Peterborough Petes are coming down. You just start naming off others. This idiot, this idiot, this idiot. They got 8 guys that are going to take our heads off. But you know what the Peterborough Petes are doing and the Hamilton Steelhawks are doing? Go. These guys have this guy, this guy, this guy. Everyone's the same, and everyone's insecure, not everyone, but like there's an insecurity and everyone has doubts and all this kind of stuff, and just realize that everybody has that, and that stay in the moment and do your thing. So
Yeah, I think putting the human on everyone is important. Like people say a lot, like they put their pants on just like you and all that kind of thing, and it's true. People can cliche it, but there's a reason it's a cliche, right? Because it's actually true. You get guys that they think the way you guys think, and you've been through a trade, I've been through a trade, and you go into the other room, and it's the same conversations, it's the same themes, it's the same exact type of dialogue, and it's a guy that 2 weeks ago when you were on the other team, you thought this guy was an absolute savage, man, and you come in, it's like, oh, he's just
a
yeah,
nice guy.
yeah, nice guy,
Just a
like
good guy that
yeah,
plays hard and has
yeah,
some balls or doesn't
yeah,
or pretends he does, and
yeah.
oh yeah, man, you see it.
The insecurity thing plays into a bit of that social pressure in the room too, because there's a lot of times the loudest guy on the team is the most insecure guy, so the guy that always has the really cool story of this crazy thing he did, or the guy that talks about girls all the time or drinking all the time or all the
Just the loudest
extracurriculars,
jokes all the
yeah,
time.
or always carving guys or rookie this rookie that, like these kind of guys, just that's another one of those. Be able to ignore the tones of the way people are talking, because everybody has their insecurities and their hangups. And again, that doesn't mean you have to go be combative against this person because they bug you, but just those kind of guys, just identify that all that kind of stuff normally comes from insecurity.
100%, man.